What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video, I'm going to talk about why silver is a bad investment. So let's do it! Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you would like to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, then make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, so why is silver a bad investment? And you should note I'm using the term investment very specifically because I want to look at silver as a traditional investment and talk about why it's not a very good one. Now, there are some things that silver is, and there's some things that silver isn't. Now, do I own silver? Yeah, obviously. I've got a whole YouTube channel where I show off lots of cool silver. On the table here, we got some assorted junk silver. This is some half dollars and some barbers. We got some dimes here, Mercury dimes, Roosevelt dimes, Washington quarters. This is all silver. It's 90% silver. Any half dollars, dimes, or quarters that were minted in 1964 or older are 90% silver. They're worth much more than their face value. These are worth currently about, I would say, 14 to 15 times their face value for retail pricing. So a dime would be worth about $1.40 or $1.50. All right, so that's an easy way to look at it. But yeah, I think everyone should own silver. I think there's great reasons to own silver, most notably as a hedge against inflation, especially in hard economic times, but also as a savings account. But as an investment, well, that's where you and I might disagree. So I look at my personal silver stack as a hedge against inflation and a physical savings account. So I kind of want to start there and talk about how I look at silver, and we can use that as a foundation and then build off of that. So like I said, I look at silver as a physical savings account. So if I wanted to save, let's say $1,000, how would I do it? Well, if I put it in the bank, then in my opinion, that would be a pretty poor decision because number one, with interest rates basically at zero, if you put in $1,000 into a savings account in the bank, and then you hold it for a period of time and pull it out, guess what? Well, it's going to be $1,000. So with inflation, you're actually losing money. Now with silver, typically it keeps up with inflation, especially over a long period of time. So obviously these coins, if you got them back when they were minted, you could have got them at face value. For instance, well, let's use a Roosevelt dime here. Let's see what year this one is. I think it's the 50s. Yep, 1959. So in 1959, I could have got this dime for, you guessed it, a dime. And like I said, right now it's worth about $1.40 or $1.50. So clearly it's kept up with inflation. So the buying power is still there. So when you use silver as a physical savings account, you retain your buying power, which is essentially what a hedge against inflation is. The other reason I like silver as an actual savings account is it's a little bit harder to spend. If I wanted to spend my money from my online paper bank savings account, whatever you want to call it, all I got to do is hit a few buttons, and probably in under a minute, I can move that over to my checking account, and I could spend that $1,000 no problem. Now, with investing in physical bullion, it's a little bit harder to sell this and exchange it for fiat currency because, of course, I can't go spend this walking Liberty half dollar for $7.50 without exchanging it for fiat currency first. I can't go buy a loaf of bread and some eggs with this. So I would actually have to take it down to a coin shop or find an individual that wanted to purchase it off of me, sell it to them for fiat currency, right? Dollar bills, and then go spend those. So it's a little bit harder to offload this, which is why I think it's a great savings account. For me personally, I was having a hard time keeping money in the bank. If I needed it, I would just spend it, right? And so when I save my money this way, it's actually much more effective. It's a great way, trust me. If you're having a hard time saving cash, start buying silver. It's the best way that I could possibly think to do it. And also, like, you have the other benefits of it being a hedge and whatnot. So that's sort of how I view silver. That's how most silver stackers view silver. They're trying to buy it, hold it over a long period of time to protect their wealth. And that's really important, to protect it. So usually silver and gold for that matter, both can do very well in a down economy. They can go up in price just because of demand. So if there is more demand for physical precious metals because they are safe haven assets, they're hard assets, then yeah, they could go up just from speculation, but also pure demand. So can they go up in a down economy? Absolutely. Do they have potential currently? Absolutely. But typically I would say looking at them as an investment is just not a great idea. It's not a great way to view it. I think you definitely could get burned if you're trying to buy silver with the intent to make a bunch of money off of it, right? Sell it and then put that into another investment. So I personally think you should really diversify your portfolio. For your investments, don't put it all in silver. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. And I'm not saying buy silver and gold. I'm saying that, in my opinion, you should be buying stocks. You should be buying bonds. You should have other investments. I personally have a 401k. One thing that I have talked about in other videos is how much of your portfolio should be in precious metals. And typically I would say it's around 2 to 10%. You really need to do some research and figure out what's best for you. But I would say over a long period of time, silver has done really well keeping up with inflation. There has been spikes, definitely on speculation. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to actually make money off of silver. There is that potential. But if that's your whole goal, if that's your whole reason for buying it, I think you could have a hard time doing that, especially if it doesn't perform in the way you want it to perform. Now, looking at silver versus other investments, when the economy crashed, I bought some SLV. I did it for the first time. Now, SLV, that's an ETF, right? It's an exchange traded fund. It's the iShares Silver Trust or something like that. It's the most popular ETF for silver. It basically goes along with the spot price. It's usually a little bit behind the spot price. So that's one of the paper products of silver that you could use as an investment. It's really easy. You can use like a Ameritrade account or even the Robinhood app and buy SLV. Super easy to do. You just take money from your bank account, put it on the app or on the website, and then you can buy it that way. Now, the thing with SLV is, since the economy was basically crashed at the bottom till now, my SLV has gone up about 25%, which if you just look at that as a pure investment, it's not that great, especially compared to some of the other things I put money into. Now, I think right now it's kind of sketchy to sort of play the stock market right. It's a little bit gambling buying individual stocks, which is why I like my 401k to buy the Dow Jones or a whole index fund, right? But I would say, I have bought individual stocks before. I did buy a Norwegian Cruise Line. I bought Carnival. I bought some of the cruise lines because I felt like they were super, super undervalued. I mean, $7, $8 a share right at the bottom. And now there were 23 bucks a share. And what did I do when they doubled? Well, I sold half, right? So I got my money back out of it. And now I'm just playing with the house's money at this point. But, is that sketchy to leave my money in there? Could that go to zero? Could the cruise industry completely crash and collapse? Yeah, it's a possibility, but, I'm playing with the house's money at this point, so I'm just going to let it ride. I would say for buying individual stocks, you should definitely only do it with money you're willing to lose. It could be high risk, high reward, especially if you're trying to short the market or do other things to gain leverage. And try and, day trade essentially. I'm not a day trader. That's not what I do. That's not really something I'm super interested in. But, I think if you have, let's say if you have a few thousand to play with, you could buy a used jet ski or play the stock market. What are you going to have more fun doing, right? So anyway, looking at silver as an investment, let's bring the reins back in here a little bit. In my opinion, it's a better hedge than it is an investment. And just being a hedge, by its very nature, means it's a good place to store your money. It's a good way to retain your wealth, not necessarily build wealth. I don't think anyone's trying to buy a bunch of silver to really build their wealth, build their portfolio. Is that a possibility? Absolutely. And I think if you're buying it as a savings account, then you could take advantage of that situation and sell it to make some profits if that ever happens down the road. But that's not why I'm buying it. That's not my sole reason for buying silver. So I think if that's why you're buying silver, you need to really take a step back and think about what's going on in the world, what you're doing with your money. Is that the only thing you're buying? Are you diversified? I really hope you are. I personally am. And so I think it's really smart not to have all your eggs in one basket. But do I think buying silver in general is a good idea? Absolutely. I'm still buying silver when I can find good deals. In fact, I just made another silver purchase yesterday. All this silver on the table I actually bought under spot. Now, if you missed that video, I talk about how to buy silver under spot or under market price. I'll put a link up in the corner as well as a link down below to that video. Definitely check it out if you haven't yet. Now, my whole reason for making this video was to sort of get some of this information out there for the new stackers or the new investors, right? I use the term investing in silver on my channel because there's a lot of people searching for silver as an investment, and I really haven't made a lot of videos looking at silver as a pure investment and sort of my opinions on them. And so, if my opinion's different from yours, that's totally fine. Feel free, please leave a comment down below on your opinions on why silver is a good investment if you think that, why you think it's a bad investment if you agree with me, and also why are you buying silver, right? What's your goals for purchasing silver? Are you trying to just retain your wealth, or are you trying to actually build wealth? Because I think, you could build wealth if you're just increasing your savings account. Absolutely. So that is one way you could do that. But anyway, I do want to say a massive thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Silver Dragons out.